DuckTales, Season 1, Episode 17. Day of the Only Child.
Guys, look! Scrooge got a new security button. It's totally dangerous and adorable. Yeah, that sounds like me.
Yeah, it's... And the interesting thing is, it's got on its... I actually watched this one this morning. It has DT87 on it, which, guess what year the original DuckTales came out?
Let me guess, 87?
Yes.
Well, I mean, also, that's the year that that Launchpad was born because of that same reason. Launchpad's birthday, if you look at his license, his driver's license in the Buddy System episode, his birthday is the day of the first airing of DuckTales.
Right. 87? Damn, I didn't know it was that old.
Yeah, he's 30 years old. He's still younger than me.
I thought it was like the 90s.
Darkwing Duck came out in the 90s.
A lot of the good kid show
DuckTales
stuff came out in the 90s.
DuckTales lasted a long time, though, so it technically was a 90s cartoon.
Yeah.
If you think about it that way.
Yeah,
Just
the
like
late
Ninja
80s
Turtles.
into the 90s, you started getting this wave of really cool kids stuff.
Just like classic Ninja Turtles, first aired in 87, but, it's still counted as a 90s series because that's when the meat of it was going on,
And it also played quite well into the 90s.
Oh, yeah.
And you had the movies and the big, all the big stuff. Reruns and all that stuff. It was
Spin-off series and some of the less
Venus. All I have to
so
say is Venus in the context of TMNT, and
I wasn't thinking Next Mutation, and I honestly didn't have much of a problem with Next Mutation. The one that really, really was Coming Out of Their Shell tour.
Oh yeah, the animatronics. I think that was some of the problem with
that one was awful.
The animatronics on that were.
At least Next Mutation tried to make it fit more into the 90s movie 90s movie style, like animatronics and acting, so it wasn't as like jarring and creepy as the Coming Out of Their Shell tour. And then of course there was the anime. That was just wrong. That one was just so wrong. It was some sort of weird cross between Ninja Turtles, Sailor Moon, and I don't know what other thing you
Power Rangers,
like
or something.
Maybe Power Rangers.
Oh,
but the way
it all kind of falls into that Super Sentai.
They had these gems that made them grow, that turned them into super mutants. Shredder, Bebop, and Rocksteady would take these like mega gems and turn into super giant monsters or something, and it was just like
my monster grow.
Exactly.
I'm just imagining the turtles doing the magical girl transformation.
I actually, back in like around 2012, 2013, I actually did draw the 2012 series Ninja Turtles as Sailor Scouts.
Oh my god.
With April O'Neil as and then another one where Donatello was fantasizing about being Tuxedo Gammon and April was Sailor Moon.
Oh god.
Anyway.
But tangentially speaking.
Yes. Getting back to the actual show we came to talk about instead of getting lost in Turtles.
Hey, where are Huey and Louie? Who? Your brothers? Webby, I don't have any brothers. I'm an only child. Don't be ridiculous. Oh no, we must be in some sort of dystopian alternate dimension. Calm down, everything's fine. Exactly what an evil Dewey doppelganger would say. Give it up, doppelganger. Even
Yes,
Webby
the
does the
doppelganger.
Deweyisms.
That's
Even Webby does the Deweyisms.
he's
He
just
does
pulling a
have
Dewey.
He does have quite a versatile name. Do we agree on this?
Yes, Doofert definitely does. Though less interest, less fun than Llewellyn.
Yeah. Don't say my name.
Yeah, but I
Only
would go by Louis
child.
too.
Only child day, something a twin or triplet would likely appreciate. But to someone like Webby, raised alone and always wanting a sibling to hang out with and be friends with, that's the most ridiculous thing she'd ever heard. Because having a sibling is something she couldn't imagine not wanting.
Yeah. Well, it's that,
Grass is always greener.
yeah, grass is always greener. That's probably as best you can put it. Somebody's who has siblings. It's like, yes, who was the eldest and also has siblings. Yes, the quiet and solitude and not being messed with is nice, but also uh, you know not having anyone to play with. Like, it's one of those things. As a kid, you want some. The great thing about a sibling is it's like, okay, they're there, you can do stuff with them.
Blame everything on them. I mean,
Well,
that's
if you're on good terms, you can have fun. And it's like,
even if you're not on good terms, you could still have fun.
yeah.
It's called bullying.
But you have somebody there that's available to stave off boredom. But
True.
but it's also they're also going to be there to annoy you, going to annoy you as well. So it's a double-edged sword. It has its benefits, it has its drawbacks.
Yep.
Dewey is a great hacker, by the way. He uses a permanent marker on this password protected screen.
Huey actually is a hacker because he jumps into the dang robot and it's like, all right, yeah, I just switched up some stuff in the manifold.
I mean, yeah, it works.
Yeah, but it's like, but I never thought he could get into my password protected sibling calendar. First of all, if I were Dewey or Louie, I would have thrown that shit out like years ago. Second of all, marker on the screen?
Mm-hmm.
Really? Low tech. And if Huey can't see through that, he deserves to be punked.
It works,
It reminds me of that blonde joke. How do you know a blonde has been using your computer? There's whiteout on the screen. And he threw away the marker without capping it first.
Oh.
I actually typed that in all capital letters. And about 8 exclamation points.
No. I mean, that's a little bit excessive. I would have just gone with 7.
I would have gone with 9. So
I would have gone with 9, but
that seemed a little much.
Actually, hold on. How many did I use? Oh, I did. Is that 9 or? I think it is 9.
Oh.
Okay, I did.
I was just going for the one above, so it's like whatever.
It actually is 9. It's a small font, so.
Then I would have used 10
on my phone.
or 11 to balance it out.
I mean, 11 is pretty awesome, but I kind of prefer 12.
If it's 11, you don't even have to hit the shift key.
True. Actually, I do because I was typing it on my phone.
Keyboard jokes.
Yes. Dewey saying, ugh, teamwork. Which is a spoiler for one line in the first episode of Series 2 that has absolutely nothing to do with the story itself. But it's just kind of ironic because he and Webby saying teamwork makes the dream work. And yet in this episode, teamwork. I just want to use a rich kid for his infinity pool. Why can't I have that? Stupid Dewey. Why can't I have brothers who blindly listen to me for once? Careful what you wish for.
I mean, my sister doesn't blindly listen to me. Why is that?
Neither does mine, but I think she's learned her lesson.
And
that means a lopsided sash launch pad. A lopsided sash. Which I bet you, if that were Dewey, he'd let Dewey it.
And meanwhile, this whole time, Huey's like, I was cool with us not having this day in the first place. It was like, especially since he wanted to have, he's like, I need 2 people to help me with this, and he ended up having to deal with the...
Yeah, but the Beagle Boys actually probably turned out better than Louie and Dewey.
Yeah, they actually listened to him. In a way, they actually listened to him better than...
Yeah, and they listened to him too well.
Yeah. It was the only one he showed them genuine kindness, and it's like...
Yeah.
It's like,
his kindness does not go unpunished. They imprint him as their new big time. And all of their traps that they originally started trying to trap him with, he's like, if I'm going to be captured, I'm going to be captured right. That sounds something Webby would say. That sounds like something Webby would say. If you're going to do it right.
Yeah, it's like, I'm not going to be captured by such a pathetic trap. Now do it right.
Yeah. This is how it's done. And see, now that's a very nice knot, but maybe you should try this way. You see, now doesn't that look so much better? And Big Time gets caught.
Hey, at least being short saved him for a moment.
Yeah, until it falls on his head. Although, Huey is still shorter than Big Time. So that wouldn't have affected Huey anyway.
And it seems to me like in a real pinch, Huey might actually go and say, is like, somebody's trying to tie them up. It's like, are you sure you want to use that knot? I'll be out of here in 5 seconds. You want to use this knot, and it's actually a knot that's easier to get out of. It's like,
well, I could see Huey doing the opposite.
Yeah, it would be something like if you had sort of a fusion of Huey and Louie together. It's like Huey's knowledge and Louie's ability to sort of
sweet talk his way out of anything.
Yeah, he rolled high charisma, Huey rolled high intelligence.
And Dewey rolled tank. Webby rolled rogue. Louie, meanwhile, gets to make friends with a spoiled brat, Doofus Drake. I like the classic.
Nice.
I like the classic DuckTales Doofus better. He was sweet, naive, innocent dork. And once he did get a bit of a big head when he became a superhero and kind of made everybody else feel insignificant. But then they deserved it because they were bullying him before that. So, but this one is just a spoiled, idiotic brat.
Yeah.
Which is because the writers didn't like Doofus. So they're like, we're going to fuck him up. That's basically what they did. They're like, yeah, we don't like Doofus Drake. We need an antagonist for this episode. We need to make a spoiled brat who's really dumb. I know, let's use Doofus.
He seemed okay at first.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't.
I mean, he didn't seem bad. He just seemed awkward.
He was creepy stalker kid from the very beginning.
Eh.
Yeah,
It was a nice bracelet, though.
a little plain. Although if you throw it in the fire, it probably has Elvish writing on it.
That's not Elvish. That's the language of Mordor. In Elvish script.
Of course. Real wealth is not caring if people think you're crazy because they can't do anything to stop you.
Yeah, that's fine.
You know, there are actually rooms like that, though, where you pay a
Oh, I know. They
hefty
want
fund, where you pay a hefty amount, and then you go and smash things.
Yeah, they're pretty fun.
I've never been to one. I work in stock, and I have to put fragile things away every day. And I already get like paranoid and panicky when they stock the Hummers, you know, the carts to put it out with the glass stuff, fragile stuff on the too close to the edge as it is. I would not do well in one of those rooms. New friends. Tying Huey and Louie's story together, and literally tying Big Time. Although Big Time was tied to the tree like a pig on a spit, and yet when the tree falls in, he's dangling like a cocoon.
Yeah, well, it's not trying to make sense of it.
True. And then we go to Dewey Do Night. Dewey's wish is to be a late night talk show host.
Yeah, it's a good wish.
Huey is a robot and sounds like Dewey's attempt at being a Dalek. Louie is a lampshade because of his bright ideas. Huey, you have a plan, right? No, because I am technically you, and you do not have a plan, so neither do I. Louie? Nope, still you. Stupid only child day. But it turns out it's only Webby teaching Dewey a lesson about appreciating your family by threatening to kill him with a robot.
Yeah, and maybe you shouldn't.
That old chestnut.
Important parts out of a robot.
That does sound kind of like something Webby would do.
It's like, hey, see this daily robot? Yeah, I took a bunch of important parts out of it.
Well, I mean, how else is she gonna climb inside?
By not climbing inside.
And control it. It probably doesn't have normal controls on the inside. It's not meant to be controlled that way, so she probably had to rewire some stuff to be able to do it. And then she ended up taking stuff out that she didn't need to take stuff out. Or she didn't, it would make it not work.
Mm-hmm. Well, it worked long enough to float a little bit afterwards when she jumped out. What were you doing, Dewey? Me? Nothing. She knows. Shut up. He has got quite a vivid imagination there. Not that I'm one to talk because I do the same thing sometimes in public.
Wait, you have a late night talk show?
No. I just act out stories while I'm waiting for the bus or
Uh,
working, and
I
don't.
do that all the time when I'm at work.
Me too.
Very lonely being the janitor.
There was one time I was working with somebody in the fitting room, and she walked into the fitting room, and I was still, I was talking, so I'm like, "Would you shut up?" "No, you shut up." Dude, I was I'm having this argument with myself in two different voices. She comes out and she's like, "Who are you talking to?" I'm like, "I told you should have shut up." She got this like freaked out look on her face.
Crazy.
Yeah, but who has more fun than crazy people?
True.
Aw. I'm sorry, you guys just got here. I don't want you guys splitting up. She had a good motive, if not good execution.
Yeah.
Although she had a pretty good executioner after that.
Oh my.
That they are in a very small area, apparently. Because the tree that they were in falls right on top of Doofus's house.
Mm-hmm.
And
All tree.
yeah, but still, I mean, how close were they camping to his property? Were they on Doofus's property camping or what?
It was just convenience for the joke.
And then, Dewey and Webby come racing out of the mansion and running all the way to Doofus's house, which Scrooge's mansion has a lot of land around it, just so that they're all together again.
Well, you see, triplets or twins have a magical magnetic property that if they're apart for way too long, they'll be drawn to each other.
And Webby was just following Dewey.
Pretty much.
Beagle Boys, Psycho Rich Kid, Haywire Robots, brothers again? Brothers again. And they all have to solve each other's problems. Dewey solves Louie's problem by fighting him with a fake robot. By fighting him with Huey. Louie solves the Beagle Boys' problem with, hey, if there's one thing I know, it's that you hate each other. You yell at each other, you fight with each other, you fail mob beagles with each other because you're the Beagle Boys. And who in this world can antagonize each other more than your own brothers? It's kind of got a point there.
Yeah.
You guys, wait, are you brothers again? Or did this whole thing happen in another dimension and you're all evil doppelgangers? No. Definitely brothers. Whatever makes you not hurt me. So you're not going to break up? Of course not. We need each other. Yeah, I love being a triplet, but sometimes we need to be our own people too. Which is funny coming from the one person who didn't want to do the only child day. And he's the one who's like, yeah, it was okay to be an only child that day. Well, I guess only child day wasn't an absolute disaster after all, as the entire mansion blows up behind them. I mean, it wasn't their mansion, so it's okay.
True, and it's not like they haven't blown up Scrooge's mansion a few times.
They didn't blow up Scrooge's mansion. They blew up the houseboat a number of times. It was even eaten by a monster at least once.
That's the thing about this show. When phrases eaten by a monster at least once? Because you lose track of how many times a houseboat is eaten by a monster.
Yeah. Kind of like that line in the Buffy musical. Hey, I died twice.
Or the old Marvel line, Jean Grey would be spinning in her grave if she'd ever stay in it.
That would be a great line for the Doctor too.
Yeah, or the Master. Because no matter how many times you think he's dead, he always comes back. Sometimes with boobs. So, how much did you see when you came into my room? That, taken out of context, sounds way worse than it should.
Oh my god.
Especially asking Webby that.
Like, oh, I didn't see much.
Oh, I didn't see anything.
Corkscrew.
Oh no.
I'm surprised you got that.
I needed adults. Oh, wait.
Duck physiology.
No. Oh, wait. No adults, especially not if you're Dewey. Adults are creepily drawn to Dewey.
Oh god, no.
Launchpad, Glomgold, Mark Beeks.
Anyway, any other notes?
No.
Nope, that was it.
All right.